The world stood on the brink, unaware of the silent terror brewing in its midst. A storm was coming, a tempest of fear and uncertainty, and at its heart lay a mystery as dark and impenetrable as the Black Veil itself. The fate of millions hung precariously in the balance, a terrifying testament to the unseen forces at play. In the annals of history, few events could rival the sheer magnitude of what was about to transpire. A chilling silence had descended upon the globe, a harbinger of the chaos that was soon to be unleashed. The very air crackled with anticipation, a silent symphony of dread playing out on the world stage. The countdown had begun. The hands of fate moved with relentless precision, ticking away the seconds to a catastrophe of unimaginable proportions. The world held its breath, oblivious to the imminent danger lurking just beyond the veil of normalcy. Havencrest, a picturesque town nestled amidst rolling hills, was now an unsettling tableau of frozen lives. Once a vibrant community, it had become a ghostly shadow of its former self, a place where time seemed to have stopped abruptly. The bustling streets, once teeming with life and laughter, stood eerily deserted, transformed into desolate corridors of silence. Shops that once buzzed with activity now had their doors ajar, swaying gently in the wind, as if whispering secrets of the past. The air hung heavy with an unspoken dread, a palpable sense of wrongness that permeated every corner of the once peaceful town. A thick fog rolled in each evening, adding to the town's eerie atmosphere, cloaking it in a veil of mystery and fear. It began subtly, an almost imperceptible hush that settled over the town like a shroud. Birds stopped singing and the usual hum of daily life faded into an unsettling quiet. The townsfolk, initially dismissing it as a passing phase, soon realized something was terribly amiss. Then the reports began to filter in, strange occurrences, unexplained illnesses, a chilling absence of communication. People started to disappear without a trace, and those who remained spoke of seeing shadows moving in the corners of their eyes. The authorities, caught off guard by the unprecedented situation, scrambled to understand the nature of the crisis unfolding in their midst. Meetings were held, plans were drafted, but nothing seemed to stem the tide of the growing unease that gripped Havencrest. Biohazard responders, clad in their ominous yellow suits, were the first to breach the eerie silence. Their presence, meant to reassure, only added to the town's growing sense of dread. They moved methodically, their every step echoing in the stillness. What they found inside the quarantine zone was nothing short of horrifying. The streets were littered with the remnants of lives abruptly halted, toys left in mid-play, meals half-eaten, and vehicles abandoned in the middle of the road. The town's inhabitants, frozen in their final moments, were scattered across the streets and houses, their lifeless eyes staring vacantly into the abyss. Each figure, a silent witness to the inexplicable event that had turned Havencrest into a town frozen in time. As fear gripped the nation, a sense of dread permeated every corner of society. The once bustling streets were now eerily silent, save for the occasional siren piercing the night. People huddled in their homes, glued to their screens, desperate for any scrap of information that might offer a glimmer of hope. In response to the escalating crisis, a clandestine task force was assembled in the shadows. This was not a decision made lightly, it was a move born out of sheer necessity. The stakes were too high, the risks too great to rely on conventional methods. This was no ordinary team. These were individuals forged in the crucible of crisis, their skills honed to a razor's edge. Each member had faced their own personal battles, emerging stronger and more resilient. Their training was grueling, designed to push them to their limits and beyond. They were the Black Veil, a covert unit operating outside the bounds of conventional protocol, entrusted with the daunting task of unraveling the mystery of Havencrest and neutralizing the threat it posed. Their missions were shrouded in secrecy, their actions unrecorded, their successes uncelebrated. Leading the team was Dr. Emily Carter, a brilliant epidemiologist whose expertise in infectious diseases was unparalleled. Her reputation preceded her, known for her groundbreaking research and her ability to remain calm under pressure. Her analytical mind and unwavering determination made her the perfect candidate to spearhead the investigation. She was relentless in her pursuit of answers, often working late into the night, driven by a deep-seated need to protect humanity from unseen threats. By her side stood Agent Jack Walker, a hardened veteran of countless Black Ops missions, his combat prowess and tactical acumen unmatched. He was the muscle of the team, but also its heart, providing a steady hand and a reassuring presence in the face of danger. Rounding out the team were Dr. Mark Jenkins, a world-renowned geneticist with an encyclopedic knowledge of viral mutations. His insights were invaluable, often providing the key to understanding the complex biological threats they faced. And Sarah Lee, a tech specialist whose skills in cryptography and cyber warfare were nothing short of legendary. Her ability to navigate the digital landscape and uncover hidden threats made her an indispensable asset to the team. Together they formed a formidable force, their individual talents blending seamlessly to create a unit capable of facing any challenge. Their bond was forged in the fires of adversity, and their resolve was unbreakable. In the face of an uncertain future, they stood as humanity's last line of defense. Under the cloak of darkness, the Black Veil team infiltrated the quarantine zone of Havencrest. The city, once bustling with life, now lay in eerie silence, its streets empty and its buildings abandoned. The team moved with purpose, their hazmat suits a stark contrast against the desolate backdrop. The atmosphere crackled with tension as they navigated the deserted streets, their every sense on high alert. Shadows seemed to dance at the edges of their vision, and every creak and groan of the old building set their nerves on edge. They knew they were not alone, but the nature of their unseen adversary remained a mystery. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the rustling of their hazmat suits and the pounding of their hearts. Each member of the team could feel the weight of the mission pressing down on them, the gravity of their task clear in every step they took. Each step forward unveiled new horrors. The once familiar streets of Havencrest had transformed into a nightmarish landscape filled with remnants of a life abruptly halted. The team steeled themselves, knowing that turning back was not an option. The victims, frozen in their final moments, bore silent testament to the swift and merciless nature of the unknown threat. Their faces, twisted in expressions of fear and pain, told a story of a catastrophe that struck without warning. As they delved deeper into the heart of the quarantine zone, they began to uncover clues, seemingly disparate pieces of a terrifying puzzle. Each discovery brought them closer to understanding the nature of the threat, but also deepened the mystery. A discarded medical kit, its contents scattered across the pavement, hinted at a desperate attempt to combat the unknown menace. The team could only speculate about the fate of those who had used it. A child's toy lying abandoned in the middle of the road served as a haunting reminder of the lives that had been disrupted. It was a symbol of innocence lost amidst the chaos. A single word scrawled on a wall in what appeared to be blood genesis. This cryptic message added a new layer of dread, suggesting a beginning of something far more sinister. The pieces were beginning to fall into place, painting a grim picture of a threat far more insidious than they could have imagined. The team knew that their mission was not just about survival, but about uncovering the truth behind the catastrophe that had befallen Havencrest. With each clue, they edged closer to a revelation that could change everything.